I'm just gonna keep it here. Day 1, you as a new way, great. Day 1, you! Oh my goodness. What am I gonna do with submarine? Day 1, you as a new way, great. 1, you! Oh my goodness. What am I gonna do with a submarine? You. Oh my goodness. You. What am I gonna do in a submarine? Maybe I should put. Change my video or just leave. Yeah. Okay. I could play Roblox, but it would be kind of annoying. So I don't know if it works very well. If I don't want to be around, I'm going to crash out. I don't like to play. I do have Sunday Stairway onto the computer, but it's kind of annoying to play on the computer, which I will not. I could. I could a Krita. I could. I feel lazy. Oh my god, my Wi-Fi is. Bro. What do you want me to do? I'm just streaming. Just let me stream. I'm not going to do anything except stream and play some games. That is what I'm gonna do. So OBS, please, convenience. And I really don't want to stop streaming because it's been a while I streamed. Last time, which was let me check. Last time I was on live was like a month ago. The other one was so laggy that I didn't even post it. By the way, this wallpaper is my drawing. As I wish I could, it's getting really annoying. Let's try to open Krita. As I know, using Roblox is a bad idea, but I don't think Krita is a bad idea, as it sure has been a while I used Krita, like a few weeks, like 3 weeks I used it. Been kind of a while. Hey, at least it's not getting fucked. At least it's something. So you don't see my mouse? Oh, I know you can. It's this. I forgot. Honestly, I wouldn't see it either. Thankfully, I have my precious thing here. I love it. I love drawing with it. So I will just do the sketch, which will just basically just contain circles and this. I hate this. Is this? Yeah, it's actually the one I use the most for drawing, as I'm using mouse, normal mouse at high. That is, and I have a shaky hand too, which can be really annoying at some points. I don't know if I should actually put music. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. But I should also see if the music isn't too loud. I don't want to be copyrighted. Pass it over onto Discord. Day 1. You. What am I gonna do on a submarine? Honestly, I haven't really been online. It's more of a, am I gonna get views or something? And I don't post much anymore because I'm scared that nobody will come. Yeah, but ever since Mr. Zeal drama too, ever since I'm alone, I can just talk about whatever. But I'm not gonna say slurs, but it's bad. I can't recall most of them except the lesbian one. I'm gonna say slurs, but it's really a bad idea. I legit hate this. Getting shot today. Oh my god, I hate it because I have my phone just next to me, and since it was getting into my way, I struggled. No, it's not near my thing anymore. And get away. It's been so long since I drew on computer. Made this guy super gay and honey. Super computer. It's actually my first time on Krita. It's not that much, but I think I'm getting really used to it. But I'm keep using the juicing brush and never doing anything else. I don't even do the line art. Kind of annoying. But without a stylus pen and everything, it's kind of annoying. Because my lines are too shaky with mouse. And if I try to draw, it's mostly just shaky. And I wish I could post with phones. I could, you know. Screen share my screen because I'm way better at with my phone. But unfortunately I can't, and why is it so small? Oh my eye, it's itchy. I genuinely feel like it's going to. I feel like I'm gonna rip it out somehow. Like, you know that one sensation where you want to rip out your eyes, but you don't really want to at the same time. Anywho, you can see the color better on your phone. It's more annoying when you think of it. I really want to put music or play Roblox, but since every time I try to play Roblox, it just makes my whole OBS just like not work. I'm not gonna do it. What could I've possibly done? Imagine being a first-time Krita artist. I'm not. Just haven't used Krita much. It's been like a week, not a week, but like more so that I've used Krita. I'm still kind of new to it. I think I'm doing pretty well actually. I feel like people will tell me I have a forced mommy voice. Yeah, I find this make me actually pretty uncomfortable. But there's nobody here, so I don't really care. But it's okay. Just don't really like it. I must sound like a fucking bitch. Holy. Mickey is fine. Fallait pas me quitter, tu vois. Il est beau le résultat. we could listen to Din Witter in the back. What the fuck? Actually, yeah. Alright, get a recommendation. Let's just watch Din Witter.
in that race. And
So let's see if it works
in
at
fact,
the
now
same
the
time.
Democrat using second place
Let's
now
see,
has
let's
to
see.
to
Okay,
figure
it
out how to
actually
pull where Eric
works
Swalwell
now,
was
so
by
I
pulling
might
together
just
even more
run
funding,
this
okay, and even
less.
more support among.
I disagree with those Republicans to a certain
Oh
extent.
my God! Because because you know if you agreed with them, then you'd be a hypocrite because you're totally fine with people like
But
Trump
I'm not
being
a
in office,
hypocrite, and you're
even when they
mad
admit to
because I'm
sexual
not a hypocrite.
exploitation. Do you think that Trump should resign from the presidency like Swalwell resigned from
you're
his
mad that I'm
race
not
for
a
the
hypocrite,
gubernatorial
Dean.
race, considering the fact that we literally have Trump on tape admitting to sexual exploitation?
Dean, does it bother you that I'm not a hypocrite? You sound a little upset that I'm not a hypocrite.
Okay, well I posit you are a hypocrite by even invoking Eric Swalwell's names. Like even just by invoking his name,
right.
you know, want to talk about a Democrat with SA accusations. How about the president that admitted to sexual exploitation?
Yeah, I mean, he's got his faults. I'm not going to
This
sit
feels
here
like I'm being
and act like, but everybody already knew. We all
a
knew who
racist
Trump is.
because you know
There was
how
nothing hidden.
I don't think
people
people.
used to
Can we agree that people
do
who are guilty of
this for
sexual
black
violence,
people.
one of the worst things that
It
one
kind of
person could ever
reminded me
do
of
to
that.
another
Even though
should
they
not be
you
allowed to
like
run for the presidency, which is the most powerful position available to a human life.
these kind of Mouse and Steven
my
universe, I
problem with
don't like
Eugene
using them
Carroll
as
is
it
the
makes
fact
me
that
really
Eugene
uncomfortable.
Carroll's name.
Like not uncomfortable,
Okay, who you
like
talking about? Because there's no other
awkward to
evidence.
use
I
them because
never
I
said
feel like I'm
anybody's
using
name.
the
I never
Donut
used
mouse on
Trump's name. I was asking a
accident.
very blanket
And I
question.
don't really want to
And
do
we
that.
agree that people who are guilty of sexual violence, okay, should not be able to be president.
It depends on the case that you speak of, because there is this thing called lawfare.
So you think that
That
there's
we-
some cases of sexual violence that are okay?
No, not at all. There's no cases where that is
Okay,
okay.
when I
There's
say
no
guilty, I
cases.
mean
But what
truly
I'm
guilty.
saying is-
Should we prevent
is
people who are truly guilty of sexual violence from ever being president?
if they're truly guilty, absolutely 100%.
Okay, yeah, you're cooked, buddy. So,
But
a
Trump's
form of
not truly
yes,
guilty.
he is. Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
A form
No,
of
he's
sexual
not.
a form of sexual violence is sexual exploitation.
Sorry, man.
Donald Trump admitted to sexual exploitation on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005. In fact, you just acknowledged that he admitted to
It is
sexual exploitation on
subjective
Howard Stern's
and-
radio show in 2005.
absolutely
Because after I brought it up, you said, yeah, Trump has his faults. But now you just agreed that that fault should disqualify him from the presidency. So are you going to turn a new leaf? Are you going to revoke your support from Trump? Let me be clear on the answer options that you have here, because I don't want you to pivot. You either are going to have to walk back on your claim that people who are truly guilty of sexual violence, okay, should not be able to serve as presidents, or you're going to have to argue that Donald Trump did not admit to sexual violence. Those are your only two options. So, Popcorn, I'll go ahead and shut the hell up. The ball is in your court. Which one of those two options are you going to chase down today?
Yeah, was Emmett Till guilty of SA?
No.
Okay, then why was he persecuted on the
Because
streets?
of racism.
There you go. And that same system that allowed that and promoted that is the same system that is now being used to go after people's political opponents. That's what we're seeing.
So,
this case here was a prime example.
That is so fucking
when Eugene
disrespectful.
Carroll comes out and says
I never
that there's
mentioned
21
Eugene Carroll's
men
name.
that violated her
I
in some
never.
way.
So first and foremost, I'm putting you on mute because you're hitting.
By the way, if
Second of all,
anyone
you
watches
are
it,
such
just
a disgusting motherfucker
drop a
for trying
hi
to
or
compare
something.
Emmett
not
Till to
pivoting.
Donald Trump. That is
Yeah,
so
that'd be really
unbelievably.
nice,
I
but
just can't even.
not yet.
It's so
It's true.
gross. And then third of all, okay, you didn't tell me which answer you want to select here. Okay, are you going to go with the argument that you want to walk back your suggestion that people who are truly guilty of sexual violence should not be allowed to be president? Or are you going to argue that Donald Trump did not actually admit to sexual violence when he said he'd barge into the dressing rooms of naked people and look at them? Okay, I never invoked Eugene Carroll's name. What we're talking about is his admittance of guilt for sexual exploitation, which is a variant of sexual violence now restored in 2005. Once again, your two options are either walk back your claim that people who are guilty of sexual violence should not be able to be president, or argue that Donald Trump did not admit to sexual violence when he said he barged into the dressing rooms of people and then look at their naked bodies unconsensually. Which one?
I would say that the claim that it is SA or violence is inaccurate. Yes, Trump admitted that he went back there and inspected as you know, the head guy of the pageant. But to say that he SA'd and try to tie in, this mental gymnastics that you're doing, it just, you
can't even answer. So I define sexual
it doesn't
violence.
relate, dude.
So I define sexual violence as any sexual act that is unconsensual.
So, okay.
Do you agree?
I think it goes beyond that.
Like, okay, like what?
So if somebody enters a room and they're changing.
No, give me an example of sexual violence that would go beyond the definition. Any sexual act that's unconsensual.
So again, if I walk into a room and there's somebody in there changing or something, and they feel violated, but I didn't mean to do that. Obviously, I'm not guilty of any kind of violence. So that's all I'm saying.
Can you give? So you're not giving me an example of a sexual act that's unconsensual. Wait, I'm so sorry. You're not giving me an example of sexual violence that goes beyond an unconsensual sexual act. Right? Like, do you accept that the definition of sexual violence is engaging in unconsensual sexual acts?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. So then Donald Trump is guilty of sexual violence because he admitted to engaging in an unconsensual sexual act.
But it wasn't an unconsensual sexual act.
It
It
was.
was unconsensual because
How?
he didn't do it with their permission. He did it with his permission.
But how is
and
it
was a
sexual?
Yeah, because he sought out the naked bodies of women, to then look at the naked bodies of women, to then go tell Howard Stern
This
how
is
much he enjoyed
icky
looking at
for
the naked
me.
bodies of these women, when Howard Stern
Just
asked him
gonna,
about
like,
the sexual
adjust
things
it.
to do with
Oh.
the women that competed with his pageants.
Okay, and
He
those are
said it
women.
was sexual.
Right. So women that put on bikinis and strut their stuff to the world is worried about the owner of the pageant coming backstage and seeing them naked.
Yes, because
Are you
even
kidding me?
women who wear bikinis have consent. If you wanted to argue that women who wear bikinis don't have consent, then essentially no woman who's ever been to a public beach has consent. You are so gross. You are so gross. So unfathomably gross. So
Why are you
fucking
crashing?
gross.
Why are you crashing?
Because
Why is
you
my
get
friend
told
texting me?
women who
Oh.
wear bikinis, in default of that fact, then consent to have
I
men
need to also
violate
check
them
if
at any
anyone
time they want.
comments, which
That's
is
why I'm
I have
upset,
to do multiple
because that's
things at
upsetting,
once, so I'm
and that
just gonna
should
put.
be upsetting to anybody that's not
I'm
a
just gonna
psychopath.
continue doing this while just
Well,
doing.
I mean,
texting
all
my
those years that you did the
friend.
pageants, and all you come up with is like 2 or 3 women or 4 women.
His
out of all
admission of
those
guilt?
thousands and
That's not
thousands of
true,
women,
but his admission
Nah.
of guilt?
nah, I believe it.
You don't believe his admission of guilt?
No, I don't think it was as bad as you.
As
were
what
making it
he
out to be.
said?
No, I mean if
Because
like,
he,
hey,
cause he,
Trump's
cause he
coming in.
said he'd go into a
Hey,
private.
Trump's coming in.
a
All
private
right, come on in. See my naked body.
Oh, where did Donald
Yeah.
Trump say in the clip that he'd give them a heads up? Let's listen.
I'd also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done it. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show,
Yes.
and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere, and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything
doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
So where in that clip did he say that he'd ensure that a woman would first go inside of the private women's only dressing room to ensure that everybody in that space had clothes on and it was okay with Donald Trump coming in? Where did he say that?
Well, I mean, if it was an issue, it would be bigger than 2 or 3 women.
Oh, okay. So you basically don't have a response to the claim. You're just saying, well, if it truly was
that
unconsensual,
is.
then everybody would have known about this years ago. So hey, do you know about every action of SA, rape, or unconsensual sexual conduct that has ever occurred in America?
No, absolutely.
Oh, okay,
not.
okay. You probably only know about a handful, right?
Probably. Well, yeah, a handful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less than what? 15?
No, I see stuff all the time on, about that. So.
Okay, let's say 500.
But me personally.
So are you saying
me
that during your
personally, if I
lifetime
know
there's only been
people,
500 instances of like sexual violence that have taken place because you don't know about the other ones, and if they really were an issue, then you would know about the other ones? Oh wait, that's the argument that you're making about these women and girls. The burden is that you would know about them prior to Donald Trump running for president if they really did happen. Or the argument is that the courts would know about them prior to Trump being president if it really did happen. But then you have to deal with the issue of RAIN.org that would tell us only 2% of rapists are ever held fully legally accountable in the court of law. So it's either the case that you think that only around 500 instances
Oh
of sexual
my.
violence have occurred
My
because
friend
those
is
are the
seeing
only-
me.
Those are the only instances in which
Because
you
I'm a
learned about.
lesbian.
Or
That's great.
only 2% of rape
So
actually
I'm
occurred
getting
because the
seen,
other 98%
my
goes
friend.
unchecked by courts.
That's
The
weird.
the fact that
I don't wanna
matters
be
is
seen.
every single day across
What are you
the
gonna
world,
do with me?
including in America, women and girls are taken advantage of.
Oil
and
me
their
up?
stories are
Oh.
never told because they're scared as shit to tell them. Okay, that happens, and you can't deny it. And you are denying it because you're saying even though Trump admitted to sexual violence, because they never told their story before him running for president, it didn't happen. And that is so grotesque, it is brutalistic, and you are the problem. Because it is men like you that will laugh at these women, disavow them, say, well, they would strut in a bikini, therefore I don't care, Donald Trump took advantage of them backstage in the dressing rooms, that makes these women and girls not want to come out, because they feel like if they do, they'll be fucking laughed at by shitheads like you.
I feel like
Okay,
I fucked up
so can I
kind of
respond?
the wing.
Yeah, tell me how
It's
I'm
really
wrong.
annoying. I mean, I
As
love
much
drawing.
as the left
Dude,
has
it's
been going after
just
Trump, creating all this
annoying.
stuff from Russia collusion,
like,
still dossier going after Trump in Georgia.
just
If all they can find is 3 or 4 women to come forward and go against Trump and speak out against him, out of thousands of women, that right there should give you enough indication that, okay, so as much as the left goes after Trump and digs up stuff and creates even things out of thin air, they would have came up with more than 3 or 4. So
How? Because
not
the
an
people
issue.
that created, well, let's just assume
Not
that
an issue.
everything about what you posit to be lawfare on the left is true. Let's just assume that there's a super secretive DNC deep state that has been attacking Trump from day one. The super secretive DNC deep state came up with the Russian collusion hoax, came up with J6, came up with the felonies, came up with E. Jean Carroll, came up with the 2 lawsuits in New York, the 1 lawsuit at Mar-a-Lago, came up with the raids upon his private estate, and has been terrorizing this innocent man all of his life with the most money and power in the world because they are the DNC deep state. Okay? Are the women that competed as pageants the DNC deep state that have come up with all these fake hoaxes? Or are they just average Americans like you and I trying to live their goddamn life?
No, but
See,
you got
that's what
people
you
out
fucking
there-
miss. That's what you miss in this argument. You could demonize the left all you want. You could demonize the elusive deep state that doesn't fucking exist all you want. You could demonize the Democratic Party all you want. But guess what? Okay, the people that competed at these beauty pageants that had this occur to them and then were scared fucking shitless because this billionaire just exploited them. He signs their paychecks. He controls
yet
their
they
career.
still
He was
show
given
up.
an Ellis Island reward. Okay,
Yet
for
they
what?
still show up.
And okay, all right, perfect. Now the argument is that they just didn't come forward, was tossed out the window, and now the argument is yet they still show up. First question: how the fuck do you know that? How do you know that there's not countless stories of women and girls out there that competed at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA, whatever, okay, had Donald Trump barge into their dressing rooms, went home quiet, finish out that year at the pageant, and then never returned again? How do you know?
Looking at the years that they competed.
Show me it. Show me it. I want you to show me. I want you to show me it. Show me it right now. Show me right now that every single year, every woman that showed up that year, showed up the year after, and then the year after that. Show me that.
You mean stop crashing, bro.
Oh, by asking you to show me the evidence you don't have because you're just a fucking rape apologist without a brain?
He got cooked.
Says the guy that cannot give evidence to support his undeniably anti-woman, pro-rape
Have a good
arguments?
day.
Continue to tell that to yourself all you fucking want, but until the day you could materialize evidence to support your claim, you're a little fucking weasel with no brain that lacks a spine that stands for everything I and any other reasonable person alive stands against. Produce the evidence.
Dean, you getting cooked.
You could say that when you produce the evidence.
Dean, you got cooked.
You could say that when you produce the evidence. I'll take the L when you produce the evidence. When you produce the evidence, sure as hell I will.
Anyway.
No, not
So
anyway.
let's
Produce
do
the
it
evidence.
again.
No anyway. No pivot. No anyway. No pivot. No deflection. Produce the evidence. Your words will not cook my argument. Your words will not defeat me. Evidence, okay, to describe that reality is not as how I describe it will cook me and defeat my argument. But you don't have that. You could just say, oh, Dean, well, the reason why I know that there wasn't an abundance of women and girls who had this happen to them that were then scared shitless, finished the pageant, then went home for the year, never came back, is because, well, they came back the next year and I know it. Then I'm like, okay, show me that. Every single woman at every single year of the beauty pageants he owns left the pageant with a smile on their face and came back the next year, and you can't do it. So instead, what are you gonna whine? What are you gonna say? You're gonna whine like a little child and say that you won and I lost because the last thing you could handle is getting sat down and fact checked like the little fucking immature moron you are. You sound bizarrely defensive when you continue to reiterate that you won the debate and I got cooked when you can't produce evidence to support your claim.
Popcorn cooks again.
Yeah, bizarrely defensive for a man with no evidence.
Popcorn out.
Yeah, and popcorn ran away. honestly, dude, I'm so happy that I drilled into him. I rarely do that. I rarely fucking do that, okay? Because I try to keep it cool. Because I really try to keep it cool on this live. But you know what? That time I didn't. I didn't keep it cool. I didn't reserve myself. I didn't moderate my statements, and it felt pretty damn good. Okay, and it caused that little weasel to run away with a request for evidence to support his beliefs, like the little coward he is, tucking his tail and running. That felt good. Popcorn got fucking burnt. Welcome in, Santana. How you doing?
Good. You're better than me. That's why I don't talk to that idiot. Like that, he brings nothing, and every single time when you pin him into a corner, he just declares, "I won," and popcorn out. Like it's just such a weird thing. You have to declare yourself a winner after providing no facts, evidence, or even a counter argument. I don't think you won.
Well, I mean, I like it when people do that, like the whole "you got cooked, I'm out now," because it tells me that they know they're losing. Oftentimes, we'll have people who will join the live who are genuinely just like not smart enough to know that they're losing a debate. But he was. And we know he was smart enough to know that he was losing because of the complete denial of the request to provide evidence, the assertion that he won, and then the exit off stage left really fast. You know, that told me that he was competent enough to know that he was given a losing argument, and he had to save face and run.
Yeah, he's just disingenuous.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, y'all. I'd really appreciate if you guys could follow the rules. Welcome in, Stewart. Do you support Trump? Stewart, you're on the live. Are you here? Stewart is not here. Okay, goodbye, Stewart. We're gonna go to move on.
Debate with ChatGPT earlier.
Yeah, that happens frequently. No, man. I feel like a lot of people think that if they debate me with ChatGPT, then they'll have a pretty easy time. But it, in fact, just makes things much harder for them. Because once they get the first argument out, which is just regurgitated to them by AI, and then I refute it, then they're just left in the dust. They're completely deserted. They just don't know what to say.
They never think about the counter argument. They never think about the rebuttal. It's just getting past that first line.
Yeah. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could please follow the rules of the live stream. Wow, that felt good. I have not cooked that hard in a long time.
You've been on one today, dude. Like from start to now, you've been like BTA, belt to ass.
Dude, on God. Yo, sir, do you support Trump?
Wait, time out. I can't hear you. Can you say that again?
Do you support Trump?
I don't, but I just have a question. It's really quick.
I really appreciate you for coming up. Unfortunately, tonight, me and Santana are just looking for Trump supporters. And I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, man. Happy Thursday. We're going to go to get that next Trump supporter up into the box right now, folks. We got Lisa K loading in on PayPal. Thank you for the 25 bucks, Joseph, from the one person who likes you. Oh, yeah, when that last guy was arguing that nobody liked me. Thank you so much for the $24, Joseph. Let's get 250 Joseph W's. Valerie with the $2 saying there's something wrong with that guest. Then Manavan, thank you so much for the $17 donation who didn't attach a message to the love. Just sent that down out there. Thank you so much for the love, Manavan. Manavan, I know that you're in here nearly every day, and just know that I'm so very grateful for you and all the love in which you've continued to show me. Same thing to Ali. Thank you for the $10 for the critical coffee money. Let's go, Ali. Thank you. Then Amoni, thank you for the $5. Stormy, thank you for the $5. And Rachel, thank you for the $5. And they're all caught up over there on PayPal. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dean, can you debate my grandma?
Is she with you right now?
Yeah, she's right here.
Did you get
Yeah,
prior
give
approval?
me a second. She's about to open the door.
Well, I mean, did you already talk to her about this?
Yeah, I've been trying for a very long time.
Okay.
Yo, I got Dean Wesley right here. Can you debate him, please? No, I can't.
All right, let's go to move on to the next guest. Folks, I am more than willing to debate the family members of yours if they are with you and they are MAGA. I love doing that. In fact, that's oftentimes more rewarding than just debating the random Trump supporters that come in here from their FYP. But just make sure that you ask them in advance. I don't want to coerce anybody into debates, or even just on the flip side, wasting my time. Dude, this came through over on Super Chat. Alex, thank you so very much for the $100 on Super Chat. Alex, you are a bad man in the very best possible way. Thank you so much. That is beyond kind. So very, very
Just
grateful for
you.
Huge shout out to Alex down below in that chat who says, long time listener, first time gifter. Alex, well, what a kind first time gift. Seriously, thank you. I really appreciate you so much. Trainwreck with the $10 says, Dean, as a woman, thank you. It means the world to me to know that my daughter have people like you in the generation that speak up. Oh, thank you, Train. I really appreciate you. Welcome in, Sandra Marie. Do you support Trump?
I'm sorry. You can kick me off.
Okay. But on to the next guest. We got a couple people loading up. Just trying to find anybody. Where did
Hello?
Nathan go? Hi, do you support Trump?
Absolutely not. I think Trump is an absolute fucking imbecile.
Okay.
Hello, D.
Alright, they were both kids.
I think you remember me, Dean, right? That's right, Yankee News. You know who I am, right?
Oh, you come up here to get cooked again?
Do you support Israel?
No.
Really? Are you a Zionist?
Do you support Israel?
I do not.
No,
I was hoping you were a supporter of Israel
Show
so I
us-
could debate
show
you.
us
on
your
it.
Apex
You're
stipend.
actually somewhat woke.
Are you still a Trump supporter?
It's tough. It's a tough. I would vote for him over Kamala Harris, but I'm not really happy with it right now. The whole Iranian conflict,
Why would you vote for him over Harris?
border.
Actually, before you get into that, I want to thank a couple people here. Lori, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I appreciate you. Isabella, thank you for the 5. Joseph, thank you for the 25. Who says for being so on target and cooking MAGA idiots. I'm trying my best today, Joseph, and I feel locked in as fuck. Appreciate you for the $25, Joseph. Same thing to you, Mary. Thank you for the $20. Who says thank you for supporting SA Survivors. Well, I appreciate you for the $20, Mary. And that's just common sense, man. Thank you so much. Hannah, thank you for the $10. Who says I've been listening for always a year. Popcorn doesn't deserve a platform. He comes up all the time. Yeah, I don't think he does. Haley, thank you for the $25. Who says, as a woman, thank you for standing up for us. Popcorn is a sad, uneducated man. Dude, literally, fuck that guy. Thank you for the $25, Haley. Then Alicia, thank you for the $15. Who says, listening to men like Popcorn that come up on these lives is horrifying and infuriating. Yeah, dude, it is so fucking horrifying. I understand. I completely understand. Thank you for the $15. Then Tass, thank you for the $5. Hannah, thank you for the 10. Holly, thank you for the 8. And with that, it looks like we are